traffickers moving south. And out of that, there can reasonably be seen more prosecution of actual arms dealers who are intentionally and knowingly putting arms into the hands of the smugglers.
And so there you have it. They're essentially caught red-handed, but my guess would be not much will happen unless they plan to target the entire national security state. And we'll see. But now, meanwhile, Big Sis acknowledges that Homeland Security is now monitoring Twitter for signs of social unrest. So all the admitted criminal activity in government, but instead it's always on the population, guilty until proven innocent. And here you have Paul Joseph Watson's article discussing how the federal agency is concerned about riots breaking out in the U.S. and essentially following the Arab Spring. They hope to now monitor the activities of not yet proven guilty, no reason to believe they're involved in criminal activity, people on Twitter, Facebook, and other social network sites to find out if they're engaged in so-called subversive activities or just economic riots and so forth. And, you know, it's just more of the police state coming down on the people as the government's increasingly proved to be criminal itself. Just as we've already covered how Louisiana is banning cash transactions for secondhand goods, they also recently upheld in the Supreme Court that Louisiana police can supposedly search cars on a hunch, that they don't need actual probable cause, that it's enough just to believe someone's criminal. Now, the case they use here, the person was found to have drugs in the car, so it somehow seems to reinforce the idea that a preemptive search is okay. What it's really doing is empowering police. And getting back to this cash ban on secondhand transactions, I've heard the lawyer quoted in this story, Thad Ackle Jr., talking about how it was the law enforcement lobby and kind of the national security state lobby who pushed this bill through, slipped it under the radar, and kept it from really being questioned. And the problem really is the language of the bill. It's so open-ended, it creates a slippery slope to where basically anyone engaged in secondhand transactions will be placed under suspicion. There's already laws and regulations forcing, you know, pawn shops as well as wire trade stores. Yeah, we have a clip here.
They give a check or a cashier's money order or a electronic. One of those three mechanisms is used.
Hardy says the bill is targeted at criminals who steal anything from copper to televisions and sell them for a quick buck.
We are being targeted for something that we shouldn't be.
Besides nonprofit resellers like Goodwill along with garage sales, the language of the bill encompasses stores like the Pioneer Trading Post and flea markets.
Now, really the whole idea behind this bill was supposedly to target copper thieves. You've seen it reported on the Drudge Report and other places, but really copper thieves can only sell those wires to a few places, and those places already require you to provide identification that could be used by law enforcement. In the case of thievery, what it really does is just crack down on regular people trying to make money off ordinary transactions, garage sales, antiques, and the rest of it. It's very dangerous language, and we should keep an eye on that. Now, we also have a clip from the earlier ruling that a hunch is somehow enough to search a car in Louisiana.
And I don't think the Supreme Court has opened any bigger door than that was there before. They reaffirmed what the New Orleans police officer did was correct.
Police say this ruling changes nothing, but local criminal defense attorney Kirk Piccioni feels differently.
I would imagine that this is going to result in more searches, more arrests, more investigatory stops.
Piccioni says that this allows an opinion or a hunch of an officer the right to search a vehicle and apply it in court.
So therefore, somehow a hunch is enough to violate the Fourth Amendment. Meanwhile, you also have heard about the pregnant mom who says the sandwich arrest was horrifying. She says she accidentally walked out of the store without paying for a sandwich. Her and her husband were arrested, and their kid was seized by child welfare services, who say that's the automatic response. So you see, again, how the system is set up for petty crime, for no crime at all, to take children, to place ordinary people under suspicion. And that child was returned, but really only because the couple went to the media about the terrible incident. The store says they really weren't trying to target the child. They feel bad about the way it turned out, but they're still not sure if they might prosecute her, even though it's a misdemeanor charge for fourth-degree theft. It was never our intent to separate a mother from her child. That was a very unfortunate consequence to the situation, Houghton said. We understand the outrage. We are concerned about how this was handled. But you see the larger child welfare system, CPS, just ready to snatch and grab kids for any reason at all. Any suspicion placed on parents can be used as justification to take those kids, and then getting them back is the hard part. And it's just tragic, and the system is obviously ramping up again. I think we have another quote from that as well. The pregnant mom says, I got completely hysterical. I went to the bathroom and threw up. That was when they took the kid. Lezinski called the incident so horrifying it seemed to escalate, and no one could say this is too much. Now, the couple offered to pay for the sandwich, but the store said that was not good enough. And really, it's kind of reminiscent of the direction that the movie Idiocracy showed satirically that society was headed towards. That's the Mike Judge film.
Your account has been charged. Your balance is 0. Please come back when you can afford to make a purchase.
No.
I'm sorry you're having
Come
trouble.
on. My kids are starving.
This should help you calm down. Please come back when you can afford to make a purchase. Your kids are starving. Carl's Jr. believes no child should go hungry. You are an unfit mother. Your children will be placed in the custody of Carl's Jr.
So somewhere between the corporate state takeover of the state and the bureaucracy, you know, poor mothers have their children taken away because they allegedly can't provide for them because they got angry at the machine. Satirical look at where our society really is basically headed. We're going to go to break now and come back with a whole lot more of police state news, how the corrupt Wall Street cronies who work with government are not under suspicion and work directly with police to spy on protesters, while ordinary citizens are cracked down upon over and over. We'll be back in just a moment on the Infowars Nightly News. Don't forget the November 3rd Money Bomb coming up in a day and a half. We need your support, and that broadcast, 24 hours plus, will be free for everyone to watch. So tune in and spread the word.
Ron Paul, a visionary who predicted the financial crisis, a leader with a plan to solve it. The Paul plan? Balance the budget, cut $1 trillion year one, eliminate 5 federal bureaucracies, end the foreign wars and nation building, rein in the Federal Reserve, pay down the debt, cut taxes to create jobs. Ron Paul, a plan to restore America now.
I'm Ron Paul, and I approve this message.
If you believe in this information and want to support its viral spread, go to the Infowars store at Infowars.com. We've got the new G.I. Joe Infowars t-shirts. We've got the incredible Pro Pure gravity-fed filters available at Infowars.com in the store. We've got a new DVD, Scientists Under Attack, the Don't Tread on Me flag. We've got all sorts of different bumper stickers to help spread the rebellion virally. It's all there, wristbands, citizen rule books in every order. Order online at Infowars.com today. The water filters, the canteens, it's all there. Infowars.com. Our mission at Infowars.com is to audit the Fed, abolish the Fed, restore the Constitution, abolish the TSA, restore the Second Amendment, restore the Constitution, restore the Republic. And if you believe in those goals, then it is your free will, responsibility, and honor to spread the word about our operation and to donate to the 2011 Money Bomb. For many years, I tried to basically stay small, make my films, do my radio show, but it grew and grew and grew. Think about how a Money Bomb that listeners started 4 years ago led to us being able to move into this bigger office. A later Money Bomb helped us expand into the empty warehouse next door. And in the last year, we have built the TV studios and put the equipment in and are now doing a nightly news show every night at 7 o'clock that we're now beta testing and getting ready for television. Right now going out to members at prisonplanet.tv and then reaching millions as it spills out onto YouTube and other systems. Help us go to the next level. Not reaching 15 million a week, but reaching 30, 40, 50 million a week. Our growth curve is exponential, but we need to hit our afterburners and turbocharge. History is happening now. The war for human liberty against total dehumanization is on now. Join us Thursday, November 3rd at Infowars.com. We're going to have a 24-hour plus live transmission with guests and interviews starting at 11 a.m. and running into my next radio show the next day. We're going to have a huge lineup of liberty-loving patriots from all over the world joining us. It's going to be amazing. And this money bomb is going to have a lot of new things added to it that's going to make it even more powerful than past years. So please donate at InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com or Infowars.com/moneybomb, or simply spread the word about the money bomb. Stand with Infowars.com and my incredible crew and all of our other supporters and help us get the word out even more. The ball is in your court. The rest is up to you. It's Infowars Money Bomb 2011, November 3rd. It kicks off 11 a.m. Visit the website at InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com, Infowars.com/moneybomb.
We are back on the Infowars Nightly News, and again, I'm Aaron Dykes sitting in for Alex. He'll be back tomorrow, and the Infowars Money Bomb is coming up very soon, so stay tuned for that important marathon broadcast. We're going to have all sorts of very interesting and powerful guests on that, but what we're really talking about today is what happens when the police state prepares for the clampdown on the people. And we talked earlier about Big Sis's plans to monitor Twitter and the rest of the social network for supposed signs of coming economic riots. But they've really been planning for these economic riots openly since 2008. The U.S. Army War College wrote a paper preparing on it. And so we wanted to show you now footage from the Depression-era riots where that engineered crisis, facilitated by the policies of the Federal Reserve, led to a crackdown on the people. And so here you see police beating back the crowds. They're upset because of all the job clampdown and really what was a restriction on the currency. And there were open abuses here. Today we see them in the New York streets with the Occupy protesters and across the whole Occupy movement. But that's just the beginning, because as we see an even greater clampdown on the economy as things really begin to unravel, whether it's from this Greek situation or whatever else is about to come, we're going to see more of this kind of thing. It's shocking, it's scary, and it's something we thought was behind us with the Great Depression, but we're in the midst of it again. And there's that footage. It's also up on Infowars.com. But with that in mind, Counterpunch has covered how Wall Street firms spy on protesters in a tax-funded center. And they're talking about the synthesis of the NYPD and many of the Wall Street firms, who all the anger is directed at in this Occupy Wall Street movement, and who are under investigation for all their fraudulent policies and the rest of it. At least 700 cameras scour the Midtown area and also relay live feeds into the downtown center, where low-wage law enforcement officers sit alongside high-wage personnel from those Wall Street firms who are currently under at least 51 federal and state corruption probes. And this is something they've been working on since at least 2009, when Bloomberg talked about the Midtown Manhattan Security Initiative. And it's really this supposed high-security ring where they could follow suspected people who haven't maybe committed a crime yet but look suspicious, or they want to follow people of a certain profile. Meanwhile, the real criminals are on Wall Street. We know who a lot of them are, and the rest of them should be investigated, but the police are busy working with those Wall Street people to keep an eye on what may amount to petty crime. Sure, there's murders and the rest of it going on in New York City, but why is it focused on the financial district? It's because they knew these riots were coming. And you've also got Wall Street corporations renting their own NYPD unit to spy on protesters and to beat back protesters, basically. And it's found that for a measly fee of $37 per hour per officer, you can rent uniformed on-duty NYC cops. Goldman Sachs and the New York Stock Exchange, among others, have been frequent customers. And this article found that they were spending somewhere on the order of $11 million per year in the year 2011 for this kind of private public security partnership. These are taxpayer-funded cops, and any alleged abuses that may occur while they're monitoring protesters and the rest of it would be paid for by taxpayers if it went to trial and so forth, but they benefit these corporations who are under the eye of ordinary people upset about these economic policies.